Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. I got a video here I wanted to put together for you. Some things I've kind of noticed here lately and a few connections I've made, mainly surrounding Hillary Clinton. If you haven't figured it out yet, Hillary Clinton is definitely one to be considered an elitist, a so-called Illuminati. She's certainly up there in those levels. She's a world player. We can connect her to that beast system through the organizations that she's a member of. She's connected with the Trilateral Commission, the CFR, and the Bilderberg Group. Indeed, there's lots of weird things about Hillary Clinton. So this is something I just noticed recently. I'd seen a picture of her and she was at the UN Security Council giving a speech. And I noticed this huge mural on the wall behind her, and I had never seen that before. So many of you are aware of this subject, but just as many, if not more, have no clue. It's the idea of all these murals, these New World Order murals that are placed all around the world in all kinds of places. The most famous would be the one at the Denver International Airport. There's lots of information on these, and there's lots of videos done. I've done a few myself. If you're new to this subject, please explore this further. Essentially what these things are spiritual storyboards, if you will. This is occult magic. Right before our eyes, it's lesser magic. It is telling us what is to come in a way that you may not fully understand on the surface. It's the occult. It's hidden. This is why it takes a little bit further research to understand some of these things. It also helps to have spiritual discernment connected with logic, reason, and critical thinking skills, and most importantly, confirmations. This mural in question that's hanging at the UN is actually called Guernica, and it was painted by Picasso for the Spanish Pavilion of the 1937 Paris World's Fair as a fulfillment of a commission that predated the bombing atrocity there. After the World's Fair, Guernica toured European capitals. It was a rallying cry and paint, if you will, to the anti-fascist cause. So this is the official story, and there's a lot more to that. If you really want to understand the history of Guernica, of this painting, please go check that out. I think it's very interesting stuff. But what really drew me into this personally is the connection I found right here. That the version that's actually hanging at the United Nations was a gift, and guess who it was a gift from? The estate of Nelson D. Rockefeller, and this is back in 1985. Now, if you're not familiar with Rockefeller and that research and the connection to the New World Order, or what I like to call the beast system, you can even throw in the term Illuminati family in there, or Illuminati bloodline. You got to look into the research here, and you've got to check out the Rockefeller family and the connection to all of this. The Rockefeller family is a well-known, well-established, so-called Illuminati family. They're certainly right up there near the top of the pyramid, if you will. And furthermore, if you still think that the United Nations is there for the good of the world and just trying to pull us all together and make things better, you should really research the UN yourself. Look at a lot of the people that are in the council and look at a lot of the people that are there representing their countries. Follow their histories. Follow their histories and you're going to see that essentially this is all a bunch of mad men and mad women. These people really are for the New World Order, for the one world system, for the beast system. They're working behind the scenes and in many cases nowadays right in front of our faces trying to pull all this stuff together. And a lot of us know that this is what's coming. This is what's coming. We know this is what's coming. So we have the connection with the United Nations. We have the connection with the elitist Hillary Clinton. So, of course, I'm not surprised that I find symbolic language once again connected with this beast system, with the New World Order, with the Illuminati. It's always there. It's always connected there. I personally believe this is God giving us the wisdom and the sight to see these things, to understand these things a little more fully. Also keep in mind with all these different murals that there's always an official story. But that official story doesn't always stick. Keep in mind, again, this is the occult. This is hidden. Of course, they're going to give the public an official story, and of course, they're not going to tell you what this may mean in accordance to the Illuminati, or the occult, or Satanism, or Luciferianism. They're not going to give you any hints of that. No. They're going to give you the, quote, official story. This is what it means. But if you've been following me and following my channel for a while, and other people like me who kind of pick these things apart, one thing you'll learn is that with the language of symbolism, Oftentimes these symbols have multiple meanings. It's not just one thing, it's lots of things. So I think a lot of you are going to be able to look at this picture and probably pick a few things apart. Now, of course, once again, we're told it represents the war, the bombing at Guernica. But when I first saw this, without understanding the history or knowing anything about it, there's a few things that really stood out for me. And it's kind of the basic stuff, but it's a confirmation for me because, once again, these are symbols I find in a lot of other related murals or even symbolism in movies and TV shows and all around. You know, we always find a lot of these same symbols connected to this idea of a one world order or of the coming Antichrist. When I first laid eyes on this, of course, what really stood out for me is the huge all-seeing eye at the very top, right? So right here we have the Illuminati eye, if you will, or the eye of the devil, if you will, the all-seeing eye, right? Atop all of this, watching over all the destruction, causing the destruction, feeding on the negative energy of the destruction, perchance, maybe both. Now, there's tons of symbolism around the bull, back to the bull god, back to El. You can do some study on that if you like as well. It's very interesting. There's a lot of connections there with the bull symbolism. Like Red Bull, think Red Bull. We also have the bull in front of Wall Street, right? So you start seeing these different connections and these symbols, and there's a lot there to be found. Of course, we have that. We have the Illuminati eye. We have the horses right there in the middle, or the horse. It's funny because I've done a few videos recently. They've seen not one, but two different flying black horses, and they've actually been recorded, right? So I've done some videos on that as well. I think it's interesting, and once again, it ties in to the times we're in, these end times, or the end of the fourth age and the beginning of the fifth age, the New World Order, the Antichrist system. So in this particular case, is this horse a symbol of the horse from Revelation, or a horse from Revelation in the Bible? Quite possibly. And of course, I can't forget on the upper right-hand side there, there's the woman holding the flame, right? Now this reminds me of the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty, there's a lot more history there than what you've been told. If you're not familiar with this, please research it. Connections with the goddess Columbia. Lots of Illuminati connections there as well. Lots of occult meaning behind the Statue of Liberty. But again, a lot of times there are dual meanings in all these things. So not only did I see that, but it also made me think of Revelation 17:4. Says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a gold cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." This is showing the fall of Babylon. Many people believe that one part of the Babylonian system is America. Some people believe that it is just America. There's also those connections, of course, to the Vatican and Babylon. Either way, I thought that was very interesting, and I think it's there on purpose and for a reason. So yeah, sure, maybe this is supposed to mean the battle at Guernica or the bombing at Guernica. But does it also mean the fall of America, the destruction of America? Because that's one thing the New World Order, the UN, all these groups have really been wanting all this time, is the destruction of America and Israel. We're going to be the last two standouts to this New World Order, and they want to bring us all in together, yeah? And in case you're not aware of that Rockefeller connection to this whole New World Order scheme, this beast system, and the end of time and the end of the age, and in case you're not familiar with all these connections with the Rockefeller family to the New World Order, the Illuminati, as I've said in the past, we can always find them through their symbols. We can find them through this language. Also, it's important to keep in mind that these people consider themselves Luciferians. Sure, we can throw in the term Illuminati or Satanists or whatever you want to say, but essentially these people at the top, from all the writings we've seen and all the things they've revealed, they believe themselves to be Luciferians. And Luciferianism represents a radical reevaluation of humanity's ageless adversary, the devil, Satan. It's the ultimate inversion of good and evil. This is another reason I think why you're always seeing that as above, so below symbolism and everything. The formula for all this is inversion is reflected by the narrative paradigm of the Gnostic hypostasis myth. As opposed to the original biblical version, the Gnostic account represents a revaluation of the Hebraic story of the first man's temptation, the desire of mere men to be as gods by partaking of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You see, modern Luciferianism, it takes its roots from the Gnostic teachings as well as ancient Egyptian and Babylonian paganism. The Christian God, the Father, the Creator, the one that many of us believe in and follow, in their eyes is seen as a stubborn and sadistic figure that seeks to keep mankind in perpetual darkness, while Lucifer is the savior of humanity by giving it all the gift of knowledge. If we were to reinterpret the Adam and Eve story through Luciferian lens, the serpent is actually the undercover savior, if you will, who defied God and gave humans the opportunity to become gods themselves. He is considered to be the god that unleashed man's amazing potential. An excellent example of the symbolism around the Rockefellers is right here. This is the Prometheus Fountain. That's at the Rockefeller Center in New York City. This is the Prometheus Fountain. It's located at the Rockefeller Center. And there's lots of statues here, and there's tons of symbolism at the Rockefeller Center. And there's a theme connecting all of this, and that's the triumph of man over God through the acquisition of knowledge. Lucifer, the light bringer, who brings knowledge, right? And as I said, this statue represents Prometheus, a titan of Greek mythology, known for his great intelligence. He has, however, betrayed the god Zeus by stealing fire and giving it to mankind. He was also credited to have taught the arts of civilization, such as writing and math and medicine and science. Zeus then punished Prometheus for his crime by having him bound to a rock, while a great eagle ate his liver every day, only to have it grow back to be eaten again the next day. Prometheus, the name actually means forethought, and it's interesting because he still tried to rebel against Zeus. Why did he do that? He tried to trick Zeus, who knows all and sees all, right? With a false sacrifice. How foolish could you get? Well, Prometheus also stole fire from Zeus and gave it to the primitive mortals on the earth. Zeus did not punish Prometheus alone, he punished the entire world. And it's interesting because we find the exact same story in the Judeo-Christian beliefs of Lucifer. So there's the Prometheus and Lucifer, the obvious connections there, right? So Prometheus is essentially the Hellenic equivalent of the Judeo-Christian Lucifer. It's often used as the symbol of so-called enlightenment. But some classically educated Freemasons and those inspired by their work used Luciferian in the scholarly sense of bringing enlightenment, invoking Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods to bring it to man. And it's interesting to note, because even right there in the sculpture, you can see that Prometheus is holding that fire that he stole from Zeus while he's gliding towards humanity. He lies inside a ring representing the signs of the zodiac, and behind the statue is an inscription that says, Prometheus, teacher in every art, brought the fire that hath proved to mortals a means to mighty ends. Mighty ends means reaching enlightenment or becoming gods. So this artwork basically sums up the Luciferian doctrine and acts as the central figure around which the Rockefeller Center's art program revolves. Of course, I'd mentioned Columbia and the connection to the Statue of Liberty earlier, and we also find Columbia at the Rockefeller Center as well. And right there's a sculpture of her holding the cup of divine knowledge. And there's tons more symbols all around the Rockefeller Center, once again, reflecting back to these occult ideas and the symbolism. And I'll have to do a full video on that alone because it would take quite a while. There's so much there. I just wanted to show you that connection so you'd understand. Something else I wanted to throw at you is this right here. Now this one's really weird and a little unusual, but these big creepy black spider sculptures have been showing up at different sites all around the world now for the last several years with no explanation. So when I saw this connected with all this other symbolism, I immediately thought back to the Bohemian Grove. Now, the Bohemian Grove, if you're not familiar with that subject, please check it out. That whole subject of the Bohemian Grove is what got me initially started in research and trying to understand all this stuff. I found out about it many, many years ago, and it completely opened up a whole new world to me. So once again, if you're not familiar with that, please check it out. This is what the elites are doing. It's a great window into what the elites really are up to, and the occult connections, and the connections with witchcraft and sorcery. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what we're dealing with. And right here, this is their logo at the Bohemian Grove, and of course here it says, "Weaving spiders, come not here." Now they say that because this is where all the leaders of industry and political leaders and even celebrities and the elite, if you will, meet up and have these meetings for a few weeks. And of course there's all these stories and footage of weird occult rituals they do out there and really debaucherous parties and stuff like this. It's just a completely insane situation to think that all these people that are literally running the world are meeting up and doing these kinds of things there, but seems to be the case. That's why I think it's really interesting. Weaving spiders come not here. So we get the weaving spiders, right? We get the spiders all over the world weaving this web, right? Weaving the grid, weaving the prison planet, if you will. Meanwhile, they go there and they get to tell the truth to each other and get real about things. They're honest with each other about stuff, yeah? The weaving spiders come not here. Hillary Clinton recently came out and gave a really bizarre speech. Some of you probably heard this, where she's talking about fun camps, right? She's talking about fun camps. She says we have a, quote, fun deficit. Oy vey, folks. She's appealing to the soccer moms, the Oprah Winfrey fanatics, people like this. I'm telling you, this is what she does. Keep in mind who Hillary Clinton is. She is one of the elite. She's a very powerful tool for this beast system. I believe just through her policies and the things she says and all the deception I see from her, she is wicked to the core. But here she is talking to the American public as if they're a bunch of idiots, telling us, hey, we need some fun camps. A place where you can go and, be forced to talk about politics with each other and things like that. And yeah, I know the deficit's bad and everything's really about to collapse. But once that happens, we're going to have these camps set up for you and we're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. Just listen for yourself and check this out.
As I have gotten older, I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean, really, where, none of the serious stuff, none of the, life challenge stuff, more fun. I think we have a huge fun deficit in America. And we need to figure out how to fill that fun deficit, certainly for our kids, but also for the rest of us. We've become, in so many ways, a country that has slowly but surely figured out how to get along with more people from more backgrounds. But there are still differences that we need to get over. I said the other day at an event that, we're much less racist, sexist, homophobic, all of those things. But we sure don't want to spend time with anybody who we disagree with politically. I mean, that is just too stressful. So, maybe mix it up a little bit. You can have the red cabin, the blue cabin, have to come together and actually listen to each other. Wouldn't that be a novel idea?
So there it is. Wow, right? Right in front of our face. So few people are going to understand it, but listen to what she's saying. We want camps where you don't have to be with people that you agree with politically. We can't have any of that. It's too stressful. She's bringing all of that into the idea of, quote, fun camps. It's good times. I feel like we're only getting a small idea of what it is they have planned for these camps. But is it really that sinister? Are these people really that evil that they know what's coming, or at least they know what they want to come? And here they are sending out these little signals, these inside jokes to each other. Meanwhile, the American public scratching their heads like, hey, you know what? It's really not such a bad idea. Hey, it takes a village after all, right? Maybe we should look into some of these, fun camps. I mean, life's getting a little crazy and, and our whole financial system may be collapsing soon. So, if that happens, I guess I could see that. Yeah, some fun camps, a little vacay for the family, right? Where all we do is talk about politics. After the collapse and everybody's going crazy and the world's falling apart, we're going to need these fun camps for the families. All this is code for re-education. This is why she brought in the whole thing with politics. These are re-education camps. It's just like the Nazis had. At least that's what they called them, right? Re-education camps. But not everybody made it out of those re-education camps alive, did they? I know this is scary stuff. I know it's freaky, but this is stuff we have to look into and really have to consider. These people are wicked to the core. Now, something else that really stood out for me in what she was saying is when she started talking about the red camps and the blue camps. Now, if you're not familiar with this, please do some research. There's tons of information out there on so-called red and blue lists for FEMA. Several years ago, there have been alleged inside leaks stating that FEMA has put together the infamous red and blue lists, which make the difference between life in a FEMA camp and on-spot execution during a martial law situation. I know that's really intense, and as I said, there's a lot of different ideas on what this means, but when you really look at it, it's very interesting, because a lot of this stuff is very solid, the whole red and blue list idea with FEMA. There's also been footage of a lot of these so-called FEMA camps with specifically set aside red areas and blue areas. So is that just a coincidence that Hillary Clinton brought up the red and the blue, or is there something else at work here? And something else that stood out to me in what she was saying is something I see quite a bit of, and it seems like, once again, with this whole Illuminati system, this pyramid system, I've done videos in the past showing how we're under attack, truly, and many of you already know that, through GMOs, chemtrails, fluoride in the water, and that's not even talking about all the mind control we're under and all the stuff they're doing to us technologically, to our brains. The point is, this system is so sinister, because what they do is they create all the problems, right? It's order out of chaos, and then they come in and they save you. But do they really save you? Not exactly. Same thing with medicine, right? Every time you see a commercial with some kind of a new pill that's supposed to help you with diabetes or whatever illness you have, and most of these illnesses were brought on by the system itself, right? So they get you sick, and then you go get your pills. You watch these commercials, they're telling you all the other side effects, right? I mean, death, disease, it can make you go suicidal, it can make you kill somebody, right? They tell you all that. Again, folks, once again, this is the beast system we're in. So what they do is they put up these puppets like Hillary Clinton to speak down to the people. The people are idiots in these people's eyes, just eaters, right? Useless eaters. It's so amazing the way she's talking down to us here. Another level of what I see her doing and all this is social engineering and also really predictive programming, getting you ready. They're already trying to sell the camps to us. They know this stuff is coming. Wow, right? They know this is coming, so they're selling it to us. I'll show you some other connections with this kind of thought that I have. Like right here, should people be concerned about parabens in beauty products? Several studies have shown that the more toiletries people use, the more phthalates and parabens end up in their bodies. For instance, a recent study asked 177 pregnant women which personal care products they used and analyzed their urine for evidence of phthalates and parabens. The number of products a woman used correlated with the amount of chemicals found in her urine. Of all the products used, lotions, cosmetics, hair gels, and perfumes were the biggest contributors. Scientists tested 213 commercial products for the presence of 66 chemical compounds. Parabens were detected in some products that did not list them on their labels. Indeed, the highest level of a compound called methylparaben was found in alternative sunscreens, marketed as green products. And 3 phthalate compounds were found only in green products whose labels did not list those chemicals, which the study authors suggest were used as substitute for better-known phthalates. The paraben has the ability to mimic other hormones, and it makes them endocrine disruptors, substances that adversely affect the endocrine system. And the endocrine system releases hormones into the bloodstream and is involved in a number of functions related to reproduction, waste elimination, digestion, metabolism. Endocrine disruptors such as parabens can lead to early puberty in adolescent girls and boys. It's reported by the New York Times even that endocrinologists have observed the average age of puberty decreasing in the past several decades, and now they're seeing girls as young as 8 years old developing breasts and pubic hair. Endocrine disruptors can also lead to testicular enlargement and breast development in young boys. They can also adversely affect the male reproductive system. Parabens are basically not good for you, but they're in tons of your products. And this is just one example, again, of how the beast system infiltrates your home and infiltrates your body. Parabens have also been closely related to breast cancer. That brings me into breast cancer. So breast cancer charity accused of partnering with corporations linked to cancer-causing products. And if you haven't figured it out by now, the whole breast cancer thing is a sham. Let's take a look at some of this. Just another example, world's #1 herbicide, glyphosate, is now found in the breast milk of women across America. Again, infiltrating our homes, infiltrating our bodies, infiltrating your children. Another example is the bombshell study finds 44% increased breast cancer risk for women having abortions. And it's always suspect at this point when the White House gets involved. It was interesting, the White House will be lit up pink tonight to support breast cancer. You may have remembered that from a little while back. And right around the same time, we had all these football teams wearing pink to support the cause. But it's interesting. You know, you can actually go to a website called Witchipedia. Witchipedia instead of Wikipedia. I go there sometimes just for my own research to kind of connect things and see what things may mean. Even here they say in health, the color pink is associated with breast cancer research. The phrase "in the pink" means to be healthy. And the politics, read this. Code Pink, Women for Peace. A feminist anti-war initiative in the US and the Swedish feminist initiative both use pink as their signature color. Pinko is a derogatory term used to describe watered-down communist or socialist politics. And in sexuality, the color pink is used extensively to represent both femininity and the LGBT community. We have the interesting pink color coding programming, in my opinion, but the thing I really wanted to show you, and we get all that. We understand there's chemicals all over, and it's coming from this beast system. These people go to the Bohemian Grove, these leaders of industry, these presidents, these elite. They make these deals. They make all these connections, right? You got medical connected with the pharmaceutical, connected with industrial. Do you see how it's all working together? Remember the weaving spiders? Well, I wanted to show you that so I could show you this. You may have seen this in the past, but the Bratz dolls collection actually created a whole series of dolls or bald for cancer or kids with cancer. There's a whole line of these things and they call them the Bratz True Hope dolls. So there's these dolls that are dressed up like the Bratz. And if you're not familiar with the Bratz, check them out. Of course, we see the tiled floor here. And if you were to really look at some of these Bratz dolls and whatnot, you'll find plenty of the so-called Illuminati symbolism surrounding these things. So again, this is just the beast system at work. There's programming happening here for your children. And they also had a lot of very popular cartoon characters go bald for kids with cancer as well at one point. Some of the most popular cartoons out there, well-known cartoons out there, did this. And once again, they tell us it's for the children. We get it, right? But the reason I wanted to show you all this is to show you what I believe is how this beast system not only, again, infiltrates our bodies, our minds, in some respects our souls, and people around us. They infiltrate us. The whole system is here to steal, kill, and destroy us, yeah? So I want to show you how they're doing that, but at the same time, selling you the resolutions. Again, this is order out of chaos. They create the problem, then they come in, oh, hey, look, you know, we're going to make cancer cool. We're going to make cancer acceptable. We got the cartoon characters doing it. We got the Bratz doing it. You know, we're raising money. We're doing this. They know that it's on the rise. I've done other videos on this in the past as well, but all these diseases and everything else, everything is on the rise now. And that's because the system has really stepped it up over the last decade. They know this is coming. They've been seeing it coming for a long time. So they put things in place before the end result to get us ready, to condition us, right? This is social engineering or even predictive programming, okay? And that's what's happening here. They're giving you cancer. They're giving cancer to the kids. Unlike anything we've seen in our human history, more kids now than ever are getting cancer. And then they give us this. Oh, we're going to make it cool. We're going to make it hip. It's okay. It's okay you got cancer. You know, everybody's got cancer nowadays, right? It's normal. Your diabetes, hey, you know, or Asperger's, or, you know, whatever it is. All these different diseases and elements that are coming from the beast system. Then they try to sell us this stuff. Now, this right here is kind of the deeper level of the predictive programming or social engineering I find around Hillary Clinton. And this is actress Shailene Woodley, and she's the star of the movie Insurgent. And there's a whole series of these things. But just over the last few weeks or so, the media has really gone after her because she claims to be anti-feminist. She says she's done with feminism, said that she's voiced her thoughts on feminism and why she thinks it's a hindrance to reaching equality among the sexes. And she's taken a lot of heat for that. What I thought was interesting is here she is with an anti-feminist stance, which that, of course, I can totally agree with. Feminism is way out of control, and most of us can see that. It's completely out of control right now. Definitely a tool of the New World Order being used to divide and conquer. So here she is with this anti-feminist idea, but in her newest movie, they put her in a Hillary Clinton haircut. I thought it was interesting, yes, very boyish, very mannish looking, the Hillary Clinton haircut. Why do I think that's a Hillary Clinton haircut? Why do I think this is even important? Well, check this out. Well, see, then we have this. This is actress Kelly Cuoco, and she's from the popular TV show The Big Bang Theory, which I personally have never seen one episode of. But I find her, just in the last several months or so, they put her in the Hillary Clinton haircut as well. And then they asked her about feminism. And of course, she was against feminism as well. She admitted in Redbook magazine, this is a while back, that she cooks dinner every night for her husband. And when they asked her if she was a feminist, she said, well, is it bad if I say no? It's not really something I think about. Things are different now, and I know a lot of the work that paved the way for women happened before I was around. I was never that feminist girl demanding equality, but maybe that's because I've never really faced inequality. I cook for Ryan 5 nights a week. It makes me feel like a housewife, and I love it. I know it sounds old-fashioned, but I like the idea of women taking care of their men. I'm so in control of my work that I like coming home and serving him. My mom was like that, so I think it kind of rubbed off. I love that. I love that, and I like that about this actress. Now, again, how much of it's real, how much of it's not, I don't know. I'm always suspect when it comes to Hollywood. But of course, I worked out there for a few years. Some of you know that. So I know there are some really good people out there as well that are just doing what they got to do. They're a part of that system to a lesser degree, not exactly selling out so much, maybe to some smaller degrees they are, but still trying to hold on to their core values. So that is a possibility. I still think it's really interesting. We find these two actresses seemingly at the top of their games in the entertainment industry, both given the Hillary Clinton haircut right around the time we start talking about Hillary becoming the next president. And we have these feminist things attached to them as well. It's very interesting. I don't think anything's a coincidence. Another example of more of that social engineering and predictive programming. Keep us thinking about these things, talking about these things. Hillary Clinton wouldn't be where she is today if she hadn't been writing all this time on the whole idea of inequality for women, right? And back to Hillary Clinton, last thing I wanted to show you. Now, this is really, really weird, very unusual. I wanted to share it with you and just see what you think about it. This is from Dave LaChapelle studio. Dave LaChapelle has been connected with a lot of Illuminati symbolism and occult imagery in all of his work. He's a famous photographer. I believe he's been doing commercials as well. I know he's done music videos. As far as I know, maybe he's doing movies now, but the guy's been around for a long time. He's photographed tons of different people in all different areas of entertainment, done music videos for a lot of these so-called Illuminati artists. The symbolism is there with LaChapelle. The occultism is definitely there with LaChapelle. I thought it was really interesting. You can actually go to his website and check out this different series of his portraits, and I found one on Hillary Clinton that was really, really weird. Okay, so this is a closer look at the picture. Now, just remember, again, this is Dave LaChapelle. Big deal. Also, I found tons of Illuminati symbolism and occult imagery around his work, so I'm sure he's a part of it, if not a part of the lodge. He's a part of the crew. He's a part of the clique. He understands what's going on. And he's highly sought after. This guy makes a lot of money. He's a big deal. So the point of saying that is, he's not going to be putting photos out that are subpar. He's going to go over every inch of that photo and make sure that it's what he wants to be put out there. So let's take a closer look at Hillary's left eye in this photo. Now do you see what I see? Can you see the clear distinction between the left and the right eye? Now I know that this subject upsets a lot of people. I've covered it on a few of my videos in the past, and it's this whole idea of the slit eye. Some people call it the reptilian, maybe the tears, the serpent seed line, or even very simply just an example of demonic possession of the demon that lives within that body. This is Dave LaChapelle. Like I said, he's not going to be making mistakes. As far as I'm concerned, this is put there for a reason, or he's allowing it to stay up. I think it's incredibly creepy. And as always, I need to find my confirmations. We need to find our confirmations with these things, right? So look right here on the desk in front of her, and that's an apple, but it's a rotten apple. So here we have Hillary Clinton at a very high position in the government with a rotten apple in front of her. Hillary Rodham Clinton, more like Hillary Rotten Clinton. Do you see how they just put it right out there, right in front of your face? Yes, she's evil. We know she's evil. This is her. She is evil. She's here to corrupt your system, to corrupt your government, to corrupt you, to put you in fun camps. When we do these videos, when I show you these things, I'm just trying to show you the system we're in, the wicked system we're in. I'm not evangelical. I don't preach a whole lot, but most of you know that I'm a Christian and that I love the Father, I love God, I love the Creator, and I also accept Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. So I can't tell you how to live your life. I can't tell you what God to choose or which way to go. I can't do that. And it's important to understand these things. It's important to know these people that are really in charge, these people at the highest levels, have no love for humanity. All they want is their system in place. They are all working for the devil, essentially. And this is what they're working towards, is that one world order, that one world system. and they will do anything they can to get there. Killing bankers, killing generals, killing each other. Doesn't matter. They will do anything they can to create this. We are dealing with mad men and mad women. So stay cool, stay calm, keep your spiritual eyes open. If you choose the same path I've chosen, lean on that, rely on that, and go to God for your wisdom and your guidance, your strength, and your comfort, because this stuff scares a lot of people out there, I know. And the only way you're going to delve into this stuff and start understanding it at the same time maintain your peace, I believe, is through a relationship with Jesus Christ, a relationship with the Father, God the Creator. I hope this helps some of you. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll talk to you soon.